I really hate myself because this is my third take on this damn video. Anyway, I know this is old news, but I want to go ahead and make a video on it and nerd out because I am super excited for this collab. All right, I'm a big Fate fan. You can tell already. I got a saber poster right there. I even got a saber right there. You know, I even got another Fate poster up there. I'm a nerd. Fate was the first like anime that I've watched. It got me into watching anime pretty much. I love Fate. I goddamn love it. All right. So yeah, Honkai Star Rail announced they will be doing a Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works collab coming in Q3 of 2025. So exactly a year from now. Long time, so they have a long time to cook. All right. Now, a few things to take note. This is Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. This is not Apocrypha. This is not Zero. This is not FGO. This is just Unlimited Blade Works, which means characters only from Unlimited Blade Works. The other thing is it looks to be a planet behind here. And the rumor already is that there is going to be a dedicated planet for this collab, which is epic. I love that shit. That is awesome. Now, I want to go ahead and come over here, and what I have here is obviously the paths and elements. Now, I want to take all the possible characters that are possible in this collab and speculate what element and path they're going to be. Now, I will say, this is just speculation. Everything I'm going to be saying, definitely not going to be happening. But some of this stuff is very likely. Let's get into it. So, we're going to start off with character. We're going to talk about the characters, talk about elements and stuff. So, first up, we got Gilgamesh. Okay, this is the guy. He is a fan favorite among the Fate universe. The likelihood of him being in this collab, strong chance. Strong chance. I'd say maybe 90% chance. As for element and path, I feel like there's only one way here. Imaginary erudition, okay? And why imaginary? Because the color, obviously. His abilities are gold and yellow. He's gold, yellow. I feel like imaginary makes sense. It is possible it could be physical, but I mean, physical's boring for a guy like Gilgamesh. As for erudition, because his abilities are very AoE heavy, and yeah, they're just AoE. He kicks ass. He's very strong, very powerful. So imaginary erudition to me just makes the most sense, to be honest. And there's not much more to be said about it. So yeah, let's move on to the next possible character. Lancer. Okay, Lancer. I'd say he's a fan favorite, but nothing like other characters, not huge. So the likelihood of him being a collab is small, but I mean, there's a chance. But if he was, I would say he's probably a hunt physical, because he's very single target. He doesn't really do any AoE stuff. And physical, from what I've seen, they don't look anything crazy other than physical. The only possible other element that could be him is lightning. Lightning could be possible, but I don't know. For me personally, I believe that physical hunt makes the most sense. So yeah, not much more to be said about that. Let's move on. All right. Next up, we got Assassin. Now, this character is a smaller chance, a way smaller chance at being in this collab, because I don't think he's a fan favorite, not very hyped. I don't think many people care about him, and he's kind of basic in terms of his abilities and stuff. He's just a very good swordsman, very simple guy. You know, he's just a great samurai kind of dude. So I mean, he's nothing like crazy, okay? Nothing crazy. So yeah, likelihood very small, but if he was, probably physical, probably hunt, to be honest. So we're gonna put him right by Lancer there. I feel like that's the only thing that makes sense, to be honest. Maybe wind. I could see wind, because wind blows fast, I guess. He's fast. I'm not too sure. Maybe maybe he could be Nihility. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know. Hunt Physical makes most sense. But yeah, I don't think he's a top priority character for this collab. So I don't think he's gonna be in it, but he's definitely possible. Next character, Rin Tosaka. Okay, huge fan favorite. She's a great character. Love her. So yeah, the likelihood of her being in this collab, huge, huge. Okay, and you know, if we want to be technical here, servants do require masters. Okay, they do require masters. Rin is a master, so I mean, the likelihood of her being there, present, at least present in this collab, is huge. Is huge. All right. So yeah, 99% chance she's gonna be there. And as for her element and path, I feel like Quantum makes the most sense for her. Very magic-y and stuff. I don't know what else would make sense to her, to be honest. I'm trying to think. Maybe lightning. Lightning, maybe. But I don't know. I personally believe Quantum Nihility could be it. Harmony, maybe? Harmony is definitely a good chance, but I don't know. I feel like Nihility is where it's at, you know? She's a little bit more aggro, so I feel like that's a lot better than Harmony. And so Nihility fits that mark, to be honest. So yeah, again, she's very likely to be in this collab. She's fan favorite, very hyped up for, and I think a lot of people are already talking about the possibility of her being in the collab already. So yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that, you know, she's probably gonna be there. Archer, this guy 100% sure, certain that this guy is gonna be in the collab. Reasons why: because the producer developer of Honkai Star Rail or whatever, I forgot what his name was, or whoever it was, he's a fan of Archer, and we've already had a lot of Fate references towards him. The bone of my bat, or I am the bone of my bat, stuff like that. So yeah, he's been referenced a lot, and he's pretty much the icon, the face of Unlimited Blade Works. And I mean, you know, if you watch the anime, you know. Alright, so yeah, 100% sure he's going to be in there. As for the element and path, I feel like physical element makes sense for him. I could see lightning, but I don't know. Physical makes the most sense, and physical destruction, because he has a lot of AoE attacks. He has a bunch of attacks that can be classified as single target, but I feel like overall destruction kind of meets both those regards. So yeah, that's where it's at. That's where I'm sitting with him. Again, 100% guarantee he is going to be in thy collab. Guarantee it. Alright, next up, we got Kirei Kotomine. Let me start that. Kirei Kotomine. Alright, he's the priest. A lot of people might be surprised about this, but I would say, I mean, he's possibility he is in the collab. But I don't think a lot of people are too hyped for him, but rejoice. There is a possibility. Ideally, I think it'd be pretty cool if we had him in there, but I don't think he's a priority, you know. As for elements and path, not really sure with this one. I mean, he's a mage like Rin, so I feel like Nihility makes sense. As for what kind of abilities, physical, maybe quantum, but I guess I'll just put him in physical, I guess. And then there's not much more to talk about him. I mean, likelihood of him being in this collab is very small. So let's move on. Next, Saber, 100%. Just like Archer, 100%. She is the face of Fate, and one of the most hyped characters ever, you know. I'm a Saber fan. I love Saber, and yeah, she is a big favorite of a lot of people. And you know, I feel like if she weren't to be in the collab, that is just like ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Okay, so what element and path? Imaginary makes sense for her because it's very cool, and you know, very cool. Alright, imaginary is cool, and a lot of her abilities look imaginary-esque, I would say. But there's a couple other elements that make sense too. Firstly, wind makes a lot of sense because she has a lot of wind in her abilities. Physical because, you know, she is consistent, or she has a lot of sword fights, just regular sword fights, you know, and they're very, very physical, you know. So that would make sense, but I feel like for Saber overall, that is boring. So I think Imaginary probably fits the best, at least in my opinion. I would not be surprised if she was Wind, though. As for the path, Destruction. I feel like Destruction works. She could shit on people and everything. She's crazy. She can get crazy if she doesn't hold back. So Destruction's where it's at. Next up, we have Berserker and Ilya. So, you know, these two might look familiar to you. As you know, Clara and Svarog are very inspired from Berserker and Ilya. You know, peak inspires peak. There is one possibility that could happen, and I think it's the least likely possibility, that these are just a skin for Clara and Svarog. I don't know. I don't know about that, because firstly, if it was just a skin, Clara's power creep, not very crazy strong. She can be strong, but she's not very strong. So if they were a skin, it would be for a character that's not crazy, you know? And I feel like that would just be, you know, insulting to the kind of character that Berserker is, and Ilya. On the other hand, you gotta own Clara and Svarog to be able to use the skin. So I feel like just having that requirement sucks. So I feel like skins in general is very unlikely, but I would get it if it's like a mage uniform, a priest uniform, something like that, you know. I get it if it's a skin for that, but I feel like Berserker and Clara deserve to, or not, Berserker and Clara, that's crazy. Berserker and Ilya deserve to be their own character, and the likelihood of them being a 2-on-1 is very likely. That'd be crazy. In fact, I think them just being Destruction and Physical all together would be insane. Just a 1-to-1 Clara right there. So I don't think Berserker really fits any other element. He's kind of like the, he's literally raw strength. He's like the Hulk. He beats the shit out of people, and I mean, Physical is the only thing that makes sense for that, and he destroys. Destruction destroys. I mean, it would make sense if it was Hunt, but I feel like Destruction fits the characters, the whole character in general. So yeah, we're gonna kind of fit him right there next to Archer. Yeah, the next character we have here is Ryder. She's very hot. Really like this character. Likelihood, oh shit, I forgot the likelihood of Berserker. Berserker, I would say, is very likely, considering Clara and Svarog's existence, and the fact that that producer, or whoever it was, admitted that they were inspired from Berserker and Ilya. But yeah, moving on, let's talk about Ryder here. Likelihood of her being in the collab, I'd say kind of like Lancer. She is, a lot of people do like her. I like her myself. I think she's a great character, but as for the priority, I feel like there's these other characters like Saber, Archer, Gilgamesh are a lot more desired than her. So I feel like the likelihood of her being there is small, but there is a good chance. There is a good chance. Now, if that good chance becomes true, her element would probably be lightning or quantum, in my opinion. Lightning or quantum, maybe ice, but let's just say she is quantum. Let's say she's quantum. I think the path, I feel like she could fit multiple paths, to be honest. Like Hunt would make sense. Destruction would make sense. Maybe Erudition would make sense too. Nihility might make sense too, for one reason and one reason alone. I'm not going to say it for those who don't know, but yeah. Let's just say Quantum Hunt. Quantum Hunt makes sense. I feel like that fits. Moving on, last but not least, Caster. She is just a mage. She has some crazy tricks up her sleeve, and she can be pretty insane. So element wise, Quantum. I feel like Quantum is very likely, and for the path, maybe Destruction, maybe Harmony, maybe Erudition, maybe even Nihility. Very likely to be any of those, to be honest. I guess maybe Harmony. I don't know. Well, yeah, Harmony could make sense, but I'm really unsure about this one. As for the likelihood of her being in the collab, very small, not really super desired, but yeah, that's about it. I do believe I might be missing a character, but I think out of all the characters that take place in the anime, these are the ones that are for sure gonna be there. Maybe Shiro and Emiya. I don't know. I don't know. Possibly. Yeah. Out of all these options, the most likely characters, well, two of the most, or for certain, is obviously Archer up here and Saber. Those for sure are gonna be there. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. The other like 90% likely is Berserker, Gilgamesh, and Breen. And Lancer, I would say. Those are likely gonna be there. Ideally, I would hope for them to do most of these characters, but the likelihood of that actually happening is small. If they were going to be banner characters, let's say if they're banner characters, which is probably going to be the case, right? They're going to be, there's no way they hand them out for free. So by this time, there's a good chance, yeah, a year from now, there is triple banners. There's a good chance there's triple banners. So they could fit a lot of these characters in, especially if a lot of them are 4 stars. I don't know. Anything is possible with collabs. Every collab is handled very different. Ideally, I would like most of these characters. I really can't wait for this collab to happen. We got a year. We got a year to wait. Excuse the hell out of me, dude. I am so sorry. I feel like this is going to be a revolutionary collab. You know, I've been waiting for something like this to happen for a while now because I feel like, you know, Fate characters fit so well with a game like Honkai Star Rail, especially considering the quality and effects and stuff like that. Like, I can imagine it. I can render it out in my brain. The noble phantasms, the ultimates and stuff like that. I can picture it and it looks so cool. It's just going to be so good. It's going to be so good. You know, personally, FGO isn't really my cup of tea when it comes to gacha games, especially now. I will say the Chinese department for gacha games, honestly, at this point, way better than a lot of the Japanese ones, especially FGO. FGO just doesn't really hit the same as these games, especially Honkai Star Rail. Just for me personally. I mean, I play FGO here and there, but I've been wanting to experience Fate in a much more high quality way, and this collab is a good chance for that to happen. And, you know, I'm super excited for that. And, yeah, out of all these characters, my favorite is Saber. I want Saber. Give me Saber. I'll E6 Saber. My king. Gilgamesh is... I mean, a lot of these characters are freaking awesome. I love them. Very happy that I can actually nerd out and talk about Fate for, like, the first time on my channel, to be honest. But, yeah, if you guys have any ideas or whatnot, let me know down in the comments below. And yeah, let me know if you're excited for this. I will say before I leave, for those people who want to try and get into Fate, you know, the big question is, what is the watch order? Because there's a lot of Fates. And it's confusing. So you don't understand. So for sure, you want to watch Fate 0, then go to Unlimited Blade Works. There is another version of Unlimited Blade Works. It's the older version. I haven't watched that one myself, but that's optional if you want to do that, but not necessary. Just watch the new current version, and then you can move on to the Heaven's Feel movies. So 0, Stay Night, Heaven's Feel. I will say though, you don't have to watch 0 or Heaven's Feel if you don't want to. 0 is nice to have for background knowledge and context, but I don't think it's necessary, and it's also a bit slower than Unlimited Blade Works, so it might not be your cup of tea, but it does pick up and get really good. As for Heaven's Feel, they are different alternate routes to Unlimited Blade Works, but I highly do recommend them because they're great and very epic. Some of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in anime, and it's just, yeah. So ideally, 0, Unlimited Blade Works, Heaven's Feel. As for the rest of the Fates, like the Fate Grand Order series, Fate Apocrypha, you know, other things like that, those are very optional, and you kind of just explore yourself. And, you know, I don't think there's a certain order to watch those. Just watch them. Just want to throw that out there for my people who want to get into Fate. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I am super excited. Don't know how many times I need to say that. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, Chad Muffins.